Howdy, ESSM 406. Let's talk about more detailed explanations of externalities, which is one of the imperfections in the market, one of the four that we discussed in this unit. So again, we're going to use that World Bank definition, which is an externality is a consequence of an action that affects someone other than the agent undertaking that action for which the agent isn't penalized or rewarded. And remember, there can be positive externalities and there can be negative externalities. Now, we can go really in depth into the economic model, but we're not going to do that because this is a policy class. But just in your other classes, if you were talking about the economic model, we're just going to talk about the concept. So hopefully that'll make it easier. And you can use this in your memos when you're discussing different types of environmental issues. So let's go back to the property rights example. So let's say that you have a piece of property. Your land is on a river. And perhaps upstream from that river is a factory, like we talked about before. And you have access to the water, and so does the factory. But the factory that is upstream is making leather jackets. And so the color of your water changes depending on whatever color is in season. So this actually happens in China. It's an issue in China. A lot of the Chinese factories will dump their dyes and the waste products from doing the leather processing directly into the river, and it goes down and affects people downriver. So this is an example of a negative externality. The factory is dumping its waste into the river, but that is affecting you because your waterside property is now pink or blue or orange or black, whatever color is in fashion. Also, there is a positive externality. Let's say that your house is actually going to be next to a park that the city's putting in. So the park's going to put in butterfly gardens and trees and walkways and running paths. So then your property values actually go up. Your property becomes more valuable, not because you've done anything to your property, but because a park has been input next to you. So you have an externality that has a positive influence on you. So we can allocate property rights differently. As a matter of fact, in the US, we now have the US Clean Water Act to try and combat people upstream dumping negative pollution or other chemicals into the water that would affect people downstream. So externality is when people are making market transactions that affect others and do not affect the person or the agency or the organization that is making that action. Hope that is clear. If not, meet with your TA or just let us know. Thanks, and